There are some big mistakes people are making when they're taking magnesium. And this is very important because of several reasons. Number one, magnesium is hands down the most important mineral of the entire body. It's involved in hundreds of different biochemical reactions, everything from atrial fibrillation, high blood pressure, insomnia, heart disease, leg cramps, and especially fatigue. And it's so important, but it's almost impossible to test because the majority of magnesium is not in your blood. Only 1% is in the blood. The rest is inside your cells. So unless you do a biopsy or a very specialized test, you're not going to know that you're deficient in magnesium. Based on what we eat and other factors, most people are deficient in magnesium, and if they don't know this information, they might stop taking it and go off into a different direction and never solve the magnesium deficiency problem. Magnesium is a cofactor. It's a helper nutrient in so many different areas of the biochemistry of your body. I first want to talk about why people are deficient in the first place. One big problem is a genetic weakness with the absorption of magnesium, but honestly, that's actually very, very rare. The likelihood of you having a genetic problem with magnesium is going to be low. Magnesium is dependent on vitamin D. And the amount of people with genetic problems with vitamin D is off the charts. What I think is happening is the average person is so deficient in vitamin D, that puts them in a situation where magnesium can't work because magnesium is dependent on vitamin D. And realize this, the amount of vitamin D you actually need minimally is 10,000 IUs. And that's just as a maintenance. If you're on like 600 international units or 1,000 IUs, you're not going to be able to absorb much magnesium if you have inflammation in the gut. Another reason is low stomach acid. You need that acidic stomach to absorb minerals, especially magnesium. How does one know if they don't have enough stomach acid? Indigestion, bloating, heartburn. All of those indicators mean that they need more acid to help you absorb magnesium. If you're a pre-diabetic or a diabetic, or you've been eating a lot of carbs for a period of time, you have a problem with insulin. And that could be the reason why you're not absorbing magnesium, because a lot of nutrients depend on normal insulin working in the body. The best source of magnesium is magnesium glycinate. You get absorption like 80% with that glycinate. Plus the glycinate helps people sleep and it helps them calm down, helps them relax. If you have too much calcium in the body and not enough magnesium, you're going to get cramping in your calves. You're going to get high blood pressure. You're going to get arrhythmias because magnesium controls calcium. Too much calcium causes contraction. It raises blood pressure. And check out what happened to this person with blood pressure problems when they took magnesium.
I have to say that the first time I've actually had any meaningful relief from the pain is taking this high dose of magnesium and vitamin D. So it's made a huge difference. And that wasn't even really what it was intended. It was intended for the blood pressure, but I think when your pain is alleviated, then your blood pressure will go down. And now I've reduced the dose, so I don't take 800, I take 600 of the magnesium, and I take 20,000 of the vitamin D. And the bonus to the whole thing as the magnesium and vitamin D has had this calming effect on the inflammation in my body. So it's still there, but nowhere near the levels as what they were before I did this test. So I'm thrilled.
Interesting, isn't it? Okay, let's continue. Smoking, alcohol block magnesium in a significant way. If you're consuming too much sodas, which are loaded with phosphoric acid, that can cause a deficiency in magnesium. All the refined sugars and refined starches in junk food deplete you of magnesium. And of course, the real big blocker of magnesium is with medications. Another big mistake that doctors make with magnesium is the fact that you cannot determine your magnesium levels from your blood. The best way is just to understand what magnesium does and to look at the various symptoms and just start to eat more magnesium-rich foods. Leafy greens will give you magnesium. Pumpkin seeds have magnesium. Chocolate has magnesium. Make sure you get the kind without sugar. And also certain nuts. Another mistake that people make with magnesium is not taking magnesium long enough to see the change. They're going to need to take magnesium at least 1 to 3 months before they even start seeing a change, because it takes time to fix the biochemistry in the body. The same thing with arrhythmias. That could take 4 to 6 months before you start to see changes. It does take time for this magnesium to really create an effect on the body. If someone has leg cramps, It could be a little bit quicker, like 3 days, but they should keep taking the magnesium because just by getting rid of a cramp or like a twitch called tetany on your skin can happen pretty quick, but to fully resolve it, it could take weeks. Insomnia could take 4 weeks before a person starts seeing change. If you don't see immediate change with the magnesium, don't think it's not working. It's just taking more time. If you have any digestive problems, constipation, diarrhea, that means you don't have the right microbiome, and that can greatly affect your ability to absorb magnesium. If you go through a lot of chronic stress, that could be the reason why the need for magnesium is very, very high. If you do a lot of exercise and you're an athlete, you need a lot more magnesium than the average person. The normal RDAs for magnesium, like 400 milligrams, might not be enough to create a therapeutic effect. You might need a lot more to penetrate some of the barriers that are in your body. 800, 1200, or even 1600 milligrams every single day, especially if you're dealing with something that's affecting you like right now and you want to see change. What you can do is take it in a powder or a tablet and then spread it out through the entire day. Don't just take 1600 in one sitting because your body can only absorb a certain amount. Take it and spread it out through the day. It'll be much better absorbed. And it wouldn't hurt to, at least one of the times that when you take it, is to take it with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water with a straw, and then use that liquid to acidify the stomach so you get better absorption. All right, thanks for watching. And if you haven't seen this video on magnesium, check it out. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.